Well, let's start with that then and work our way down, right? Endpoint obviously being the team to beat here out of these two sides. What are we expecting to see coming out from them? They've got Robin on the roster for this event, and one of the things that's actually a bit of an interesting nuance is obviously they're going to be playing against Robin very shortly then.
Yeah, I believe they play them on Tuesday in the MDL relegation, which is a bit awkward, I think is what it is, because you don't really want to give up too many strats or how you play the maps. At least how we play them now, do you? And
the difference to that is as well, the last time we saw Robin in this roster, he was the IGL, right? This time around, Hawkins, it's going to be Mighty Max. You've got Max there at the helms. How are we going to see that coming through? Because obviously that style of calling from Max is quite different. With Robin on the team as well, how is he going to be utilised? Is it purely just that fragging potential? How's it really going to go down?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see what Robin has in terms of his role in this team. I almost feel like he might be more of a supportive element alongside sort of Mighty Max. That would kind of make sense because the rest of the roster is sort of more confirmed. But in terms of the other players, obviously you've got Thomas, who had a really good performance recently at that Epic LAN, alongside Luzza actually had a pretty good showing there as well. And those are the two guys I generally look towards for Endpoint. You know, if those two guys show up, you're normally in good stead. You're going to have enough fragging numbers, and then Robin can take more of a backseat.
Because Robin normally tries to be a little bit of the center of the show, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't feel like he will just take control. I believe he's already sat in the middle. So that's the first bit of initiation. Yeah,
we've already got
him. This is my seat. And I think it'll be a similar thing, because he does like being in control, and he's not a bad guy to have in control by any means. He's phenomenally experienced, very good player, and he also knows how to play the game really well.
That's the thing, the level of experience he actually has is unreal. I mean, he competed at the first major, he's been around for so long, the wealth of things he's achieved are there. He was only ever limited by the VAC ban that he had, and obviously that's now been remedied, so the potential for Robin going into 2019 could be huge.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, because obviously he got, well, the VAC ban was removed in what, end of August, I think it was, just after the Ice Series win for Endpoint, which is a bit of a weird one, because everybody was like, is he going to stay or is he going to go? And he did stay for a while. And then there was obviously some issues within the team, which resulted in him leaving the team. And then it gets to a weird position where he's still on their rosters, playing some games with them here and there just because they need to have someone.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a bit of a weird one, but obviously the chemistry will still be there, because they've played with each other so many times the past, what, 6 months, say. You're just going to be still playing the same game, and that's why we still consider them to be the favourites here. They're still going to be that really good team, all 5 players, phenomenal players. They can all frag out when you need them to. And August, they've got such a mountain to climb here. That's why I said I think they need to start off really strong.
Well, let's move on to that then. Orgles, the team they are going to be facing off against. If we try and really work out what exactly they're going to be able to do here, how do we think they can overthrow Endpoint?
It's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Because you expect Endpoint to take the game, but Orgles, they need to surprise you. They need to be able to play their own game. And usually that's where some teams falter when they walk into a game like this. They think, we're playing such a big name, we can't play our own game. We need to play defensive, be a bit scared, that sort of.
That was a dab right there. That was an Adam dab. My goodness. I thought Paradox was the only person that dabbed in Prem, but apparently not. Adam's in there. Beautiful.
It's such a weird thing with this, because one of the Fraser's the one who has like a white shirt, but everybody else is wearing black. I don't know why. It's a bit of a weird... Team chemistry isn't there, apparently, isn't it?
Apparently not.
They should all be wearing the same style.
So, yeah, they've really messed that up there. Yeah, that is a letdown from Fraser.
And Craig's got white joggers on.
It would have worked. They had the style on point. You know, the brand was there. They were all wearing Yeezys, but it's all gone wrong.
Yeah, so the name that stands out is Jacquinho, I think, because he's the bit of he's the question mark for us, isn't it? Because he's not the name we normally see. We've heard of Mezzi. We've seen him plenty of Dog Gaming, for example.
Exactly.
That's a fantastic background to have. Cray played with Reason many times, played with August start of the season. Adam, he's had such a good start to the Premiership season. We've seen him come along a lot. And then Fraser, obviously, with the AWP. He's had a few, originally with CX, funnily enough. An AWP that has a lot of confidence, I think it's fair to say. But, you know, you have to wonder, where does it happen in-game? Because I feel like they'll be pushed back into, you know, a shell.
Yeah, and I think the most I've seen from Jacquinho is, I believe he was standing in a little bit for Red Reserve in some online games a few months ago, and he did okay, but that's never really the position you want to be in, right? Standing into a pretty well-established team, you're not going to have as much freedom as you would like, so I'd be really interested to see if he could up his level even further here today, because he definitely looked like someone that had potential, but just couldn't really unleash it in that sort of setting.
It's one of those where you need to find your form really and be comfortable. And this roster does seem like one that is exactly that. They're a bunch of friends that know each other very well. They've got that motivation there. And one of the things they do have that could help them out a little bit as well is the addition of Ash. someone that's got so much experience coming in there, the beautiful man behind them right now, that at times could be able to keep them that extra little bit reinvigorated, right? Because when you're walking into these environments versus a team on land, the issue you sometimes fall into is that lack of confidence. If you start losing a few rounds here and there, you can't really get yourself back into it. You need that extra bit of hype. And that's where hopefully we can see someone like Ash being able to reinvigorate them, give them the taps on the backs, and keep their heads in the game.
Yeah, it's a very underrated element, really, being able to be comfortable in an environment, especially with friends, too, because sometimes people do treat it too much as like a business sort of thing where you show up, you're meant to win. If you don't win, don't like you anymore sort of thing. Yeah, you're meant to be, you should be friends first, then teammates after, I feel, because that way you can have fun while still playing, you know, properly. Like, it's something that is so underrated. Like, people thought, I think it was, this is a weird reference because neither of you are going to get it, but Moscow 5 in League of Legends, 2011, roughly, right? So they used to be considered to be much more like business partners. People didn't think they were very friendly with each other, but they just showed up and played, and that was ultimately the way they fell apart. So it's just something so underrated, but I feel like teams do lack it nowadays.
That chemistry possibly putting to the second grade there. Let's move on, though, look at our players to watch for the series, as the two we have up on stage here is Luzza and Cray, boys.
Yeah, Luz is an obvious pick, I feel. He's the AWPer that always shows up. Mr. Consistent, I have to call him, Mr. Biceps second.
The curls that get the girls.
Yeah.
But he has cut off way too much of his curls.
Yeah, I know, I don't like it.
What do you think of his new haircut?
I've seen better.
He used to be a bit stronger on the sides.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
It was much nicer. He's lost way too much.
He just looks like Spuds now.
It's not good. He does look like Spadoodle.
He does look like the Spadoodle.
Return of the Spadoodle. On the other side there as well, we have Cray. Yeah,
Cray, a very consistent player as well. Like, you know what you get from him, right? It's not the same sort of flashy star power, but you know you can get a good 15, 20 kills, and he'll give you exactly what you need, which is a stable thing in a team, which was a team like this as well, where they're just coming through. They need to have players like that you can rely on. Because teams, we mentioned Zednax before, like we said, a bit of an inconsistent player. Look what he showed suddenly. You need these players that you can rely on where they can suddenly step up.
Yeah, we need to see some of that coming out. Hawker, what are you hoping really to see going through this? Obviously, are you expecting an upset here potentially from Orgles, or are you expecting the Endpoint takedown?
I mean, I've got to expect the Endpoint takedown. It's just a question of, can Orgles get to the point where they get close on a map or even take a map? Then at that point, anything can happen. And as we've said, we kind of could see some funky results depending on how much the teams have practiced. There might be some sort of maybe a bit of overconfidence even from Endpoint. You could definitely see something like that coming through. So that's what Orgles have to do. They have to just try and take any small advantage they can get. Again, their players are okay. Their players are good enough, right? They made it through the playoffs. They barely even made it to the playoffs. It was a really cool story to see them make it this far. And it feels like at this point, just see what you can do, prove that you can compete, and just take it from there.
Yeah, I think that is really what we're going to have to hope from Orgles, is they just try and keep their heads in the game and really display the fragging power they have within them. And something that could help them out as well is the map veto, which we're now going to be breaking down, and we can see where this exactly is going to be ending up.
Yeah, I feel like it's a safe guess to assume that Inferno will be straight back in the pool again. Yeah. I expect to see it in every single game today. Nuke first ban from Endpoint is not too surprising. Dust 2 was one of the map picks, if we remember, from last season, that that Endpoint were really good on. They were one of the only teams to play it. Inferno pick from Endpoint, there's the assumed pick, and Mirage. So Mirage has always been a bit of an iffy map, if I remember, just in Endpoint history in general.
Normally, it's almost that CT side that really let them down quite historically. I
imagine third map, because we've got Train still in the pool, Overpass. That Overpass is probably the more likely of the two here. Or obviously we've still got Cash, I believe. Yeah. I expect Overpass to be... Well, I don't think we'll... I don't think we'll play Inferno twice.
Well, you were confident in the Inferno pick, and it happened. I mean,
it's doubled up.
You did it well. You
First
got that
time
right.
ever. We're playing Inferno twice in a series.
The double Inferno.
That'd be amazing, to be fair, if you could pick the same map again.
Yeah, it would be like the old Pro League format, but for a best of 3.
For a best of 3.
Yeah.
Why not?
Make it best of 7. That'd be amazing.
Yeah,
7 Overpass.
Best of 7. It's all Inferno. Yeah. Let's get it. So I assume the last map is going to be Overpass.
Yeah. So Inferno, Mirage, Overpass. I can't feel like as a best of 3, it definitely favors Endpoint. But I'm wondering how much of Orgles prepared on Mirage, because that's. I feel like it's always been a shaky map for Endpoint.
Could be rough stuff. Now, what are your potential keys to victory going into this one? The Robert Sarr throwback for you, Ben.
The Robert Sarr throwback.
Yeah.
This is usually where Sunny would chime in with some absolute nonsense. But I think I'm going to go for starting strong for Orgles. They need to get into the game early, get comfortable. Whereas Endpoint, they just need to make sure they're not being too, overzealous, being a bit too complacent, that sort of thing. Just play your game. You don't need to do anything special. Just play your regular game and you should win this.
Walker?
Yeah, same sort of thing, especially if Orgles could get that good start. And let's say Luzza can't get that Orc out early. I mean, first map will be Inferno, so on the CT side, definitely expect to see Luzza on that Orc. On the T side, he'll probably still pick it up sometimes if available to him. So if you can really get on top of that money early on, that can be such a great way just to give you a bit of a buffer, get yourselves on the board early, and that should take a lot of the nerves away if they can do that. So those first few rounds could actually be pretty important for Orgles.
Yeah, so just confirm that our first map will be Mirage as well to kick it off. And the way that's looking is interesting. We do have the updated veto now, so it is actually Mirage Overpass Inferno, yeah. They switched it a little bit.
Okay, so coming off that though, obviously starting on your map, especially when you're the underdog, fantastic. You get to play your map. Obviously, if things do not go well, you're probably looking at a 2-0. But you've got to be thinking, we got to win our map. This is our map. We know what we want to do in this. We've got a set plan. There's so many games you can watch back from Endpoint as well. That's another advantage here for Orgles. There's so many demos you can look back through. The games they played with Robin, whether it's with Robin or any other player. For the most part, it's the same stuff. Like really, you're going to be using the same defaults, setups, that sort of thing. Orgles just need to get in strong, really.
Yeah, and also with Endpoint having, I think, those MDL relegations coming up, I doubt they're going to want to use too much of their new stuff here. I think that might be a bit more important for them, especially in this series where they would be expecting to win. I doubt we're going to see too much new from them. So like you were saying, they'll be pretty predictable, pretty standard over on the Endpoint side. And if Orgles have therefore done their research, if they've got something up their sleeve, then that could definitely work out for them.
Yeah, the wee bit, it does limit what Endpoint can do, doesn't it? That's the crazy bit. So no matter what, if you went back to watch all of the games of Robin, that's probably what they're going to use, because they know Robin knows we do this, he knows we do this.
I mean, you're looking at the roster with Robin, right? You're expecting pretty much the sort of default CS here. I'm expecting takes, basic bursts. I'm going to be sending Robin in, letting him just do what he does best. This was normally the go-to strategy with Robin, as he does just burst in and try and knock off heads. Goes in windmilling. He's a lunatic.
Yeah, and it works. That's the thing. So it's hard to go against it, right? It might not seem like a very great idea, but if it works, it's kind of hard to argue against. So it's a weird one, though. I understand the Mirage pick. Overpass, if you remember, Endpoint, they do play it a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised to see them not pick like Train over that, though. Because Inferno, I know you wouldn't want to pick it usually as the favourite just because it feels like an underdog map anyway. But surely, I feel like Train was one of their better maps too. It's a bit of a weird...
Yeah.
That is one of the harder things with this veto, because we've seen Endpoint play a lot of maps, and I mean, they pick a lot of Overpass, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily one of the maps that they're really higher tiered on. It's generally at times can be a little bit inconsistent. They really can struggle on it. So potentially, if we could see the early start coming in from Orgles, as you said, try and have like a good Star Hawker and really build from that. Are you hoping then from that point we can maybe see this to possibly develop into a 2-0 if they can get that first win on Mirage, try and take it on Overpass? Are we expecting the free mapper? What are you feeling here? What are you vibing with this series?
I think Mirage could maybe go the way of Orgles. I've got a good feeling for them. I think, again, just the fact that you can play pretty loose on it, I think just in general that they'll be much more comfortable on Mirage. Whereas when you look into more of Overpass, I guess because they are more of an actual team, maybe they will be a bit better on it, but you definitely need some more structure on Overpass as a team. And we kind of saw that from CEX. That's a big part of their win on Overpass in the first map of that last series was thanks to their structure. So we'll have to see. I think that's the main thing. I think we'll get a really good idea after the first map what Orgles are looking like. If the team play is there, that's when we could really see it. But ahead of the series, it's kind of hard to predict, and because of that, I'd probably lean towards Endpoint, maybe 2-1. I think I'll give Orgles Mirage, but I think Mirage could be really close.
I'm going to have to go 2-0.
Yeah.
I can't help but feel like, as well, even though Mirage has always been a shaky map for them, I can't help but feel like it is just going to go in Endpoint's favour. They're just too comfortable.
Yeah, it shouldn't really be one they lose. I'm going to have to agree. I think this is probably going to be a 2-0 to Endpoint, but I hope, and I'm going to also, I'm going to buy into it, Hawker. I'm going to say, look, let's see how this goes on Mirage. I think it could be a spicy affair, but something that's always quite spicy, of course, is the main man, Alex Byfield Snods. He's not dead. He's somehow managed to survive this long throughout a Prem. He's still alive, and he's ready for a cast.
Jack, you've jinxed it. Jack Peters, how you doing? Doing well?
Not too bad.
Across the room now,
yeah.
Instead of being sat next to me. Who's next to me is Dinko. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. These chairs are much more comfortable than
Wow.
Oh, yeah, those stools.
yeah, they're
Not good for the back, are they? But yeah, obviously, we've seen the map pick now. Mirage overpassed in Inferno. Are you agreeing with Benjamin 2-0 or your partner in crime, Hawker?
I'm going to go with SEO. I think it's going to be a 2-0 here. I think Endpoint are going to end up winning this one pretty convincingly. I think Orgles, yeah, they have a couple of question marks surrounding them, but I still feel like Endpoint are the better team.
Yeah, got to agree with you on that one. I do think it's going to be the 2-0 for Endpoint. You know, there's obviously the asterisk against this team right now because of the whole Robin situation. Robin leaves, he gets unbanned, he opens himself up for the international offers. Maybe the offers that he wanted didn't come through, so he's back here for Endpoint just for this one tournament, as obviously they practice so much with him, they have so much chemistry with him. And then on Tuesday, Robin plays in the MDL relegation matches versus Endpoint. And if they win that, say Endpoint do beat Robin's Swedish team, there's one more team they play, and then they would be in Mountain Dew League against. That could be a very big feat for another UK team to be back in that position. But yeah, obviously, on the desk here, predicting the old Endpoint 2-0.
It's quite the story. I mean, it's like having someone behind enemy lines, you know, find out any info they have, ways of exploiting them. Perhaps there's a weakness currently in the team.
The man on your screens right now, Mighty Max, is actually going to be the in-game leader for Endpoint of this tournament. Prior, when Robin was on the roster, Robin was calling for the team. However, now that Robin's been away from the roster for, I believe, 4 or so months, now Max is calling as he is sat there in the middle. So the question is, how much of an input will Robin have? Will he be mid-round calling and aiding Max in case things do go south? Or will... Actually, no, Robin sat in the middle. Maybe I'm wrong here on this one. I was told Max was calling, but then again, maybe the team don't even know themselves.
Yeah, Ezio was saying when he came here to, you know, he straight away into the middle. He's a player that will try and get what he wants. And so him calling might actually be a pretty good call for Endpoint because he's not going to know exactly what this team have practiced. And so him calling, he's not going to give away anything. And perhaps that's a good way for setting Endpoint up. Have Robin, who has called for them in the past, call for them here.
Potentially. Obviously, for Robin, it is business as usual. Yes, you're going to be playing Endpoint later next week, but then again, there's money to be made here. And that's what the players are fighting for, of course. And on the other side, obviously we spoke a lot about Endpoint in this one. They are the heavy favourites of the whole tournament, being the former champions. Orgles, Cray, Mezzi, Fraser, Adam, and Jacquinho, Swedish player, as I believe it was Ezio that mentioned, or Hawker even mentioned, the fact that he was trialling for Red Reserve with Draken, Disco Doppler, etc. Played a few games with him, didn't quite go so well. Well, he's here right now, so definitely didn't go too well. But Adam, in-game leader, as Hawker said as well on the desk, prodigy in the up-and-coming players for the UK scene. Imi definitely respects his player highly. Yeah. Says many, many good things about his work ethic, his potential as an in-game leader and player himself. So the question is, can Adam lead Orgles to an upset victory over Endpoint? Personally, maybe from map, right? Maybe they can take Mirage or a massive upset on Overpass, but I think this series should be Endpoints. And going down the list as well, Fraser, former player for CEX, was there for a while actually, but eventually got the boots. And if he makes it to the final, then that'll be a dish served cold in terms of revenge. And Cray and Mezzi, obviously Ash, the coach as well, very calm, collected, very experienced player, been playing for years, former UFrag, former teammate of Mezzi as well, so I imagine that's where the connection was formed.
I was trying to look at the monitors just to confirm which map we would be starting on. Obviously, it is going to be Mirage. But I was looking, they're still on the inbox map. I was a little confused there, but it is still the inbox. So warming up and getting ready our Endpoint for this game. I'm actually looking forward to seeing Orgles because we have sort of said they are a question mark and we haven't really got into it too much. We haven't seen too much of them. The last time I seen them play was back when they had that big upset against Vex Gaming. So they looked really strong in that one.
Yeah, it was interesting as well, speaking to the other teams about Orgles. They said that they're definitely the team that practiced the most over Christmas. Many of the players on the Orgles side having 60 hours in the past 2 weeks, whereas many other people were celebrating their Christmas and time off, 10, 20 hours. So a discrepancy between potentially in terms of current form as to who is hot with the mouse right now, who's been playing it more recently. But obviously for Orgles, in terms of the opportunity, what it means to them, it's much, much bigger experience for them and a much bigger occasion. Speaking of Endpoint, they mentioned that MDL was their main focus. Obviously, if they win here, brilliant, great, cash in the bank, go home with that one, spend that, have a good night out afterwards, celebrate. But it's more so about the MDL. They really want to get back into Mountain Dew League because for Endpoint, it's not about winning the UK lands anymore. It's about making an impact in Europe.
Yeah, they definitely can do it, which is a good hope for the UK scene. I've seen quite a few of the MD Endpoints games on HLTV and stuff. I like to hop in on them every now and then, see what I can get done. And it's generally quite a fun time casting the team. They have a lot of promise, a lot of skilled players within it. Obviously, they're going to have to develop much more to get to that top level again, but it's definitely, again, to get to the top level, we'll say. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them.
Indeed. To get back, though, well, I say get back. To get back to the level they were prior, maybe a few months ago, who is going to replace Robin? That's the big question mark now. We saw Artist play many, many times with them in online matches. Maybe Artist was the one joining, but obviously here he is now playing for the opposition. The other favourites for the whole tournament, London. Who do you have that can fill that void, that gap of Robin? Speaking to the players, they said they needed someone who was similar to Pulse, more of a supportive player who spoke a lot, had experience, maybe interject with some mid-round calls, played a very supportive setup style. The problem is that's very hard to come by in the UK scene, right? If we're looking at names, you know, Eccles potentially, or Adam9130 potentially, Stanley's rumoured to be on the server pracking with those boys as well. It's just difficult situation.
I believe they played with Stanley at the most recent Epic LAN as well, where they ended up losing in the final to London. I believe Stanley was playing with them. I seen the matches that I looked at when I was researching the CEX game. Stanley was near the top of the scoreboard, so perhaps that is a good player to add. Yeah,
I mean, for Stanley, it's never been issues within the server. It's always been issues outside of the server for Stanley. So yeah, he definitely does perform inside the game. Obviously, speaking of the game, we are going to be going live very, very shortly. There's only a slight technical issue which is being resolved as we speak. The wonderful admins are dealing with the issue right now. And once it is live, Mirage, the first map. Obviously, because it's the map pick coming out from Orgles, that means that Endpoint will start on their CT side. And, wow, if CX's CT side is anything to go by for the underdogs, hopefully Orgles can do better than what we saw from the boys in red.
Yeah, that was a little bit shaky, and coming into this, I don't know, I think when you're an underdog, it's kind of good because you don't have that pressure that you have to perform. You kind of have question marks. People are excited to see how you perform, but if you play badly, no one is going to really slander you that much or try or get annoyed about it. It's going to be more people praising you if you do well. So there's really not that much pressure on Orgles' shoulders at this point. I think if coming into this, everybody is predicting Endpoint to be the victors. And, you know, if you really are pushing it, you give one map to Orgles. And I think that would still be a good result, but Orgles have proven that they're able to take big teams in the UK scene. I mean, taking Vex, that's not an easy feat.
True. But then again, obviously, it was Vex with the stand-in because it is a Swedish roster now.
Yeah.
So, once again, all these asterisks against these matchups, you know, as Gasking said in the intro, it wouldn't be a UK LAN if it wasn't for the mixed teams being here as well. And yeah, got to agree. Obviously, the Vex win was versus a mixed team. Endpoint here, could argue being a mixed team, even though Robin has been playing on the team for a while. Nilzinho there, sat in the back left, coach now for Endpoint. Quite a irony, seeing him sat there behind the Endpoint team, as we're obviously on FM Toxic for years and years. He battled versus Imi and Mighty Max, mostly winning at the I-Series and UK Masters, etc. And now, actually, he is the one standing behind Endpoint, giving that veteranism and that support, standing behind the screens this time of playing it. So, if Orgles made it to the final, let's say, and the upset did happen, I don't really know where I'm going with this one, to be honest. Dinka?
Yeah, if Orgles made it, you know, that would kind of kill the whole, we want this grand final between Endpoint and London. We kind of talked about how tantalizing that is and how much we want that final, a rematch of Epic LAN. You know, they played in a previous UK tournament
as
before
well.
That Omen. They've split. They've won one. They are even in terms of recent final results. And so this one will be the decider. It's not a kind of best of three at grand finals. So this would be the fairy tale way of having an event, having the two top seeded teams playing against each other in the grand final. That's what you kind of expect. It's what you want usually. But as upset from Orgles still would be impressive. But having a mixed team in a grand final, it would kind of kill it a little bit for me, but still pretty interesting.
Yeah, before it was always Fish 1, 2, 3 in the final as the mixed team, and then they would lose versus FM, or they'd lose versus Endpoint, etc. Yeah, I agree with you here. Obviously, people have paid their money to come and watch for that London versus Endpoint final. That's the big one. Obviously, nearly got taken out already for the runnings. Oh, we are live, finally. We are live with the matchup. First map, Mirage, Orgles versus Endpoint. And it's going to be the CT side start here for Endpoint as Orgles make their way in towards the B apartments, potentially for a B fake, as his players outside ramp.
Yeah, plenty of utility as well. That generally shows that they want to go for a bit of an execute. Endpoint, it's an interesting buy. They've got the kit and the CZ in play on Thomas. Well, the kit is on Mighty Max, but here comes the push into the A bomb site with the bomb. They're going to go for the A split through the underpass. But Mighty Max, he's got a very strong angle here.
Does indeed, as the bomb will be planted inside the smoke. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm not sure which player that is. Maybe it's Robin. It must be. That's a 3K from him towards jungle as Max chimes in as well. It's just crumbling piece by piece here for Orgles as it's all down to Mezzi. Finds one. Gives away his angle. That's giving the 4K from Robin, and yeah, he's here for business.
Yeah, that is a great start from Robin coming into this. 4 kills already. Immediately just showing his dominance. And Orgles, you know, it was a nice strategy and went well up until the final few seconds when the headshots came in. And it's going to be 1-0. Endpoint picking up the pistol. And oh, they're going to go for the hero AK on Mezzi. The AK immediately coming through. Another one on Jaquinho. A buy coming in for Orgles. See what they can get done with this. Yeah,
this is the interesting thing actually for me. Jaquinho being the red herring, you could say, for Endpoint, the unknown factor in this matchup. But HE Grenade is going to be chucked out towards top middle then. Massive amount of damage dealt towards the Orgles players. Mezzi, Adam, sub 50 HP there, so very well played there from Endpoint early on versus the force buy of Orgles, as obviously the bomb was planted. Now the question is, Orgles now down onto low HP onto multiple players. How do they deal with this? It's going to be Robin.
Oh, instant headshot from Crate. It's going to open up the bomb site a little bit further as Robin is dispatched with. Also up on top of the ticket bot, spots 2, grabs the head of 1, and Luzza able to filter in with the MP9 for a frying of his own. It's into a man advantage for Endpoint, but it's being made pretty expensive as Orgles keep fighting forward.
Thomas still taking those shots down the battles towards the B site. Eventually going to be dealt with though, but not before Max has made his full rotation over towards the B site. 2 versus 3. Bomb drop towards short. Mighty Max using the smoke to shroud himself to try and delay the plant and allow for the cavalry to arrive, as all 3 players from Endpoint have made their way here.
Yeah, Mezzi playing on the opposite end of the smoke in the middle of the site. Waiting for a player to come towards him. The smoke's beginning to fade. The pressure not building. Mezzi can't get anything. Pulse will have to step up. He gets 1. Jaquinho grabs the trade back, but it's not a 1 versus 2. 15 HP, 1 bullet will do it, and Luzza will connect. Damage has been done for Orgles, but Endpoint will withstand. 2-0.
Clean and clinical so far there from Endpoint. Very, very good utility usage at the start of the round. A double HE grenade seen, or thrown even. Top middle, perfect timing there. Obviously, Orgles going for the force by the bomb being planted. So the fact that they took so much damage so early on really did diminish their chances into the round. And Luzza with a drive-by headshot, but not before Crayon. Good old Cray could find 1. 4 versus 4 now is just going to be the quasi-buy coming out from Orgles, saving for that 4th round buy.
Smoke deploys inside of the connector. 2 players on the opposite end of it. They're boosting up to see what they can see towards the short position. Thomas will chime in. Craig gets himself another kill. Mighty Max might have to do a little bit of work here, but actually Luzza, he'll do it all as he steps up inside of the connector. 1 kill comes in, Pulse able to filter through. It's 3-0 for Endpoint, but some damage done. 3 kills with just pistols. That's pretty good from Orgles. You can see how much extra utility they get from that.
Especially when you take a look at the cash as well from Endpoint, winning 3 rounds in a row. Max and Luzza are only on $1,800 and $2,000, so Orgles, if they win this one, they could definitely do a lot of economical damage. But let's see. 5 AKs for them. No AWP going to be in the hands just yet of potentially Fraser. Interesting to see which player will be AWPing as well. Shot there from the AWP of Luzza. This is going to peer over the connector smoke, and that's a poor flashbang. But an even poorer miss there from Luzza, so Adam will survive for another rainy day. Pressure being applied by Cray towards the B apartments, keeping Max towards the B site, unable to push off towards short. And that will aid Orgles in terms of their mid-control.
Yeah, they're pretty much just giving it here, and Mighty Max has to try and come in from behind. Adam has slipped his way into the ladder room, but Mighty Max looks to want to play with this. The fight definitely will favor Adam here. Mighty Max expecting the player to be lower. Gonna have to relocate his aim. It's all about the patience game. Just over a minute left. Orgles beginning to gather their troops towards the B bomb site. The bomb is positioned there. There's not much utility left. That makes the execute a little bit more difficult.
Timing is in the favor of Max. Sponsor the player there towards short. Maybe a flashbang could come in from Orgles to aid him. But instead, Jacquinho, Adam, going to be catching Max off guard from the rear. And just like that, the B bomb site in the domain of Orgles. Robin on the fast flank. This could be a save from Endpoint. 2 players down. 5 versus 3. 5 versus 4 now. But even then, may as well just save this one into the next round. Especially, as you said, the money wasn't looking good. 3 kills in the last round of the pistols from Orgles when they were on eco. So now they can try and hunt Robin in towards T-spawn. As he is staying here maybe for a few more kills. He's going to be feeling very confident after that pistol round. So, first full buy round going in favor of Orgles. Robin unable to save the M4 as well, so more economic damage done. 3-1 though, Dinko. So far for Orgles, looks fairly clinical. Mid-control coming out from themselves there. Flashes into connector. Adam forces Lazar back with the AWP. Smoke in towards window. Molotov off short to deny CPL and whorehouse control for Max. Therefore, they can go up short, split towards the B site in a very clear, understandable round there. But Lazar able to find one early, even through the flashbang.
This time, gets a bit more proactive on the C2 side. Peeks out for that opening kill, and successful in getting it as well. Orgles left immediately fighting with a man deficit. They're gonna have to give up mid. Thomas finds Crate. And that should pretty much guarantee victory here for Endpoint as Lazar just continues the fight. Thomas has apps control. There's only 2 players left for Orgles. Just like that, it all falls apart. Lazar connects another frag, all on Jacquinho. The hero play has to come through. But at this point, the money isn't that well built up. So a couple of kills to try and do some damage, and hopefully you can walk away with at least 2 kills here.
Potentially. Obviously, the money is poor, as you said, for Endpoint, so each kill he does find would at least do some positive impact for Orgles. Has the bomb as well, so maybe he can find the entry here onto Thomas and then get the bomb planted for some additional cash into the next round for the T side, as he's still trying to hope that someone overpeaks, gets overzealous, throws away the entry towards the B side. But Thomas just going to play the off angle at the car. Let's see as Jacquinho comes creeping forward. It's going to be the spray down from Thomas. 4-1 as the reset now. $1,400 round loss bonus now for Orgles. Instantly the investment into the Mac-10 for Fraser. 3 AKs. And 2 Mac-10s. This could be a Palace burst. This could be a B burst. This feels like a fast round. But let's see what the call will eventually be. As Lazar, 3 kills in the last round with his AWP. And a missed smoke towards window again here from Orgles. So, Orgles grouping up outside the B-bomb site. Seems like it's just fairly obvious here what the play is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real other option. If you're just going to go for the Mac-10 play, low utility, you've just got to go towards B. Thomas is here, he'll spray, only gets the 1 kill. The trade comes in from Red. Thomas is finished off. The smoke will deploy from Mighty Max, hoping to cover off the vision. The flashbang comes in, and Orgles have done a pretty good job so far. They've got control of the site relatively, but Mighty Max, he'll step up, do his job well, and Robin will come in to assist. Pulse and Robin are going to chime together. Only 1 player left. It's Adam, and he's picked up the kill. The Pulse, and he lands the second. Robin finished off. It's Orgles on the board again.
Big, impactful frags there from Fraser. In towards the B-bomb site. The initial kill there onto Thomas, the second as well onto the rotating player from short. Side stairs, bomb planted, and just like that, Endpoint go for the tactical timeout, as now they're the ones facing the harsh reset. So, how much cash have they got to distribute across themselves? All coming out for Thomas, UMP for Mighty Max, M4 as well for Pulse, the money's not looking too bad. Sat in the middle there, you can see Adam slouched over. Going to be giving the best call he possibly can, and so far it's been doing, well, I'd say better than decently, very well. Obviously the first round they won, very well called from him. Very smart, very simple as well. Mid-control into the B-split, and one of the things we're going to be seeing from Orgles, even though, well, they have no org representing them, don't let that misguide you. Orgles have been practicing for weeks and weeks now. This is going to be a drill team, especially on their map pick Mirage as well. But into this round then, Laza with the Estrada smoke towards top of middle to try and slow down the mid default. And this means that 3 players can now play towards the A side. Obviously, Pulse playing in towards Connector. Max playing in towards Palace. Typically, he was towards short. So far then, Orgles playing very scared there, expecting a push towards ramp. Maybe expecting a lot worse weaponry than Endpoint really have.
We see what they could do with the Mac-10s though in the last, so Orgles still favored in this one massively. Laza going to be boosted up on top of the smoke over towards short, see if he can spot anybody. Can't see anybody just yet, but eventually will, or at least hears them. So he knows they're there. And this angle can be difficult to deal with. The smoke will fade, and Laza, oh, he's given the advantage. The sound crew comes in, but he's just unable to make it work. Adam will again have control of the ladder room.
Smoke in towards the top of Connector. Max hears the steps in towards Palace as well. I don't think he's seen the bomb. Pulse, nice first frag there, so we're into the 5 versus 4, 35 seconds remaining, and Max has control towards ramp. 2 players in Palace, 2 players in Connector, as Pulse, first, second as well, gets 2 more. Spears in towards Palace as well, but it's Laza, Robin that finished the job.
Yeah, that was nearly incredible from Pulse. You know, the first 2 kills, yeah, they're good, but looks up towards Palace, has the opportunity to get 2 more, but at least he has the teammates lining with to help him. It's 5-2, Endpoint answer back with another round win. And that puts Orgles in a very scary position, economically speaking. AK in play on Mezzi, that's the hero AK, and you buy a couple of Deagles around it, try and support the weapon. But it's not looking great for Orgles in this run, we'll say.
Oh, good indeed, just a sole rifle on Mezzi. AK for him. Apart from that, everyone else has invested fully into Deagles and a flashbang for Adam. That's really all they have to work with, and that flashbang is not really going to get too much impact when everyone's so spread across the map. So, Thomas with the Org this time towards the B-bomb site. At least the Org skin matched the hair. So, 4 versus 4. And now with the bomb, they can group up somewhere, potentially towards the B side if they wanted to. Instead, going to be recalibrating themselves towards middle. And this could be a split up through Connector, but Robin's here with the AK.
Yeah, not a man. It's easy to face inside of this position, so he'll fall back, actually. And look up towards Palace. This could really work if Orgles make the play, but they're going to filter the way back through. Underpass finally challenging, and Robin will step up. 2 kills coming in. Cray and Adam last alive. 2 versus 4. And 44 seconds left. They still have a bit of time to make a play, but it's still difficult in seeing a world in which they are able to make this work.
Smoke is still here towards the B site. Mighty Max up close towards the car position. Going to be falling back towards bench, however. Obviously for him, he wants to play nice and passive. There's no reason to die. Give away the bomb site, give away a weapon. And in the afterplant, give Orgles at least a chance. Instead, though, plays for the information. Spots them both out. This is where the players are rotating now from Endpoint. There's 10 seconds left here, Dinko. But a nice dink with the Deagle. And now Cray has the Org. That was dropped by Thomas. But unfortunately for Orgles, it's not really going to have much of an impact unless Adam could go huge with the Deagle. Knows where 2 of the players are, but can't quite connect those headshots. 6-2 as the bomb does get defused.
Yeah, I think it's starting to really look like the Endpoint we expected. Having those individuals begin to step up, hitting the multi-kills. Robin finding another 2, Laza with 2 there. Thomas able to chime in, and here's that replay of Robin. Yes, he nearly gets unlucky with the timing, but they step right back into his crosshair and make it an easy cleanup for Robin inside of that position. But timeout finally coming in, and you know, Orgles have used 2 up already at this point, and it's only the beginning of the first half. They're definitely struggling here. Endpoint, I think it's fair to say, have control of this game right from the beginning.
Yeah, from what we saw in the pistol round from Robin, showing the individual caliber of skill this Endpoint team does have, and then seeing how good their retakes have been as well. Very calm, cool, collected. And now a pause from the side of Orgles. It's the second pause as well here, Dinko. So only 9 rounds in. Here's going to be the eco coming out from Orgles. So 6-2, most likely going to be 7-2 with the likes of the cash. And this is another round for Endpoint to really start to build their money going forward.
Orgles definitely have some grit Deagle players on their side. Definitely can make this work for damage. A couple of kills. The economy of Endpoint still is yet to grow exponentially, but Pulse will stand stead. 2 kills coming in as Loza will assist for the third. Jaquinho and Cray. Cray was the man who was able to make it work with a couple of deagle kills in the previous. This time he has to get a few more and they'll look towards the window. Nothing will be found for Orgles. It's 7-2 Endpoint steaming ahead here on Mirage.
5-round deficit now for Orgles. And this is where the experience of Adam is going to be questioned. What is he going to be able to call when his team needs him most? And especially when the individual duels have been going in favor of Endpoint. I mean, the spray down we saw from Robin, the pistol round we saw from Robin, the AWPing from Lazar in the first buy round. Oh, now the rifle potentially from Joe Lazar loose, as he is let loose towards top middle. Instead, there were 2-for-1 exchange in favor of the T side. So, and with that man advantage, Thomas playing very passive now towards that B side. But let's see. Pulse left alone towards A. Robin going to be coming in towards middle now as 2 of his teammates have just died in that position. So far a standstill from Endpoint as Orgles. They have 1:20 left on the clock here. So there's no reason here, Dinko, to really overextend, get overzealous and give away the advantage they have right now. Do we see a push as well in towards Palace potential? Run from Pulse to gain information. But another thing as well here, Dinko, there's no smokes from the T side. So when they do come in towards this B bomb site, they're going to be lacking a smoke to hold off Thomas. But no. They're going to go for the risky stack towards the A site. This is actually a good play because, yes, they're going to probably lose the round, but it's also they can save the weapons.
Yeah, I was going to say also, you know, lack of smoke. It kind of works for Orgles in this position because if they had the smoke, the luxury of the smoke, they would obviously throw it. And that throwing that smoke telegraphs that they're going there. Instead, not having that smoke means they have to play the contact play until they walk into the bomb site. And at that point, Endpoint completely rotated over towards the A site. So perfect. Endpoint will just have to try and save these.
Yeah, complete serendipity on that one. 7-3 then. All through the push towards middle from Max and Lazar. 4 versus 5, Endpoint down a player. And they go for the risky stack towards the A side. It makes sense, right? We've seen it from Zeus on Na'Vi, MSL on North. You know, some of these in-game leaders where they have so many rounds to play with, they are going to take risks. Because at this point, it was a 5-round differentiation between the 2 teams. You can gamble and still be in a very comfortable lead, and you've also got the weapons. So what it means is, say Endpoint lost that round, right? It's 7-2. They lose the round, they lose with their weapons, their money's no longer in that great affluent position. Well, then you're looking at 2 more free rounds for Orgles. Instead, if you take that gamble and you win, brilliant, you win the round when you're down a man. If you lose, well, you've still got your cash, which means you have a better chance of keeping onto the lead, not giving away frivolous rounds to pistols. But anyway, Lazar, once again, in towards middle. Molotov off the angle, though.
Sitting, waiting, but Robin, he's going to be finished off by Rin as they run up towards the top. Adam will find another one. Pulse finished off. And Lazar sitting inside a jungle, looks to try and flick up towards the palace and able to land it. Molotov will come in and that will force Lazar away from the angle. Smoke covers off CT. That's a weird smoke. There's a very deep CT smoke that allows Adam to have so much control towards this area and cuts off the rotations from the CT side.
Once again, 3 players alive for Endpoint. Maybe the save call for a second time running, and I think it will be. Max as well, exiting. Oh, nearly got shot by his own teammate there. Thomas, itching to use that AUG. So, Orgles take another round here. And I said it as well, when it was 7-2 and Orgles did take the pause, that Adam has to come in with a big call for a big round, and really he was gifted the round by Endpoint pushing middle. That time as well, the frags towards the A side pretty much set up the round win for Orgles, but again, Endpoint had the cash to work with as they did salvage 3 weapons. So, 7-4. Going into this round, what are the adjustments going to be from Endpoint? I think if you're Endpoint now, you play more passive. You're winning when you were playing towards jungle, playing towards connector, or playing towards CT and taking those longer range duels. As that's what we're seeing now.
Adam trying to peer over the top of the smoke, but he'll be dropped by Lazar, who has been finding a lot of success from that position, actually, with the AWP as of recently. So that's a bit of a problem for the Orgles side. They keep losing a player going towards that area. Thomas under a lot of pressure as the bombardment comes in towards the B bomb side, but Thomas deals with it well. He gets 2, goes back for the 3rd, and what a hold from Thomas, looking for the quad kill. Mighty Max might just steal that away as Reardon able to find Loza. Dispatches with Mighty Max. A third kill from Fraser. He's going huge. He's got himself 3. 2 more players to find. It would have to be the ace, but definitely possible. What has Fraser just done?
Not just the ace here. The 1 versus 5 potentially. Going to be doing his best Valde impression here. The bomb is in the domain of Endpoint, and this is where things get very, very tricky here for Fraser. But let's see. First duel comes in towards bench. They know exactly where he is now. It should be Robin to finish it off with the elevated angle there towards the apartments. Close, but no cigar there for Fraser. 8-4 as Endpoint playing passive, allowing Orgles to take the duels into the AWPs early on. And they set themselves up for the 8th round. And Thomas here with the Org. I mean, this weapon seems so strong. Yeah. 7-yard up close, instant headshot. Spray pattern is so easy as well, especially when you're zoomed in.
Oh, that last shot.
It was nice. It was nice. Shame he couldn't finish the job that he started, but anyway, back to the same old mid-control from Orgles. Smoke in towards window, smoke in towards short, and a Molotov in towards connector. Trying their best to take mid-control early, force back Endpoint onto the site, and then from there they can split towards B, they can split towards A, and play for picks. I think the most success they've had, actually, Dinko, was going for those B splits.
Yeah, when they were able to take mid-control, they were able to make it work, but as of late, they've just had Robin and Laza in there causing problems. I feel like definitely the B-splits have been working. They've been able to find a way to get through Mighty Max. The problem arises inside of that connector. Adam pushed up inside of mid, just over a minute left on that clock to play with. Hasn't spotted too much info. We'll throw the Molotov up, try and force Mighty Max to stay in this advanced position towards short, but Mighty Max might just go for the peak. He's on the opposite end of the Molotov and can see them run up towards the connector. He'll spray, get info, and can fall back safely. That's excellent from Mighty Max. He will call the info to Pulse, who can set up perfectly and work in tandem with a player in underneath the wood.
2 there from Pulse. 5 versus 2, as with 30 seconds remaining, it's down to the Swedish import. Just him alone. Flashbang comes in, missed orb shot from himself, as he is going to be gifted a kill there onto Robin. Bit of Swedish rivalry there. With 18 seconds here, Dinky, you just got to save the orb. Look at the cash here. Oh, what's left of it anyway? 1,400 there for Cray and most of the players from Orgles. They're going to get the round loss bonus, yes, but may as well save this one into the next round. But even then, Thomas isn't going to allow it. 9-4.
Yeah,
I believe it's another pause, yeah.
It feels like Orgles can't really adapt to problems that arise mid-round. You know, you see Endpoint, the initial plan works well for Orgles, right? They take mid-control pretty well, they're in a good position, the Molotovs are throwing. They're all going to plan, but as soon as Mighty Max throws a spanner in the works, they can't really adapt from that and change up the plan a little bit. They just still have to commit with the same plan. And because Mighty Max is in that position, he gets so much info and can allow his teammates to set up perfectly inside of the A-bomb site to counter the attack. And you see Orgles using nearly all of their time on it already, and we're still in the first half.
Yeah, I'm glad they are, though. This is definitely the impact from Ash. Being the experienced, calm, collected man that he is, he knows that there's no point in having 3 timeouts when you're, 11-4 down. When you're 12-3 down, there's no point. Use them now. Try and get that 9-6 half at best. But anyway, it is going to be the eco here, so maybe Orgles are going to try and play for that 10-5 half and lock things down on the CT side if they can. For now, the bomb going to be left outside B. 2 players middle. Mezzi alone towards ramp. And 2 players in towards the B half of the map from Orgles. So it's all coming up in favor of Endpoint, as they are definitely positioned here to get to double digits early on.
Adam was just shift walk through mid every single round. This time, he might actually get there safely. Cray as well is inside of the connector. He gifted some map control to work with, but the problem is they have got the pistols, and any long-range fights, they'll be won by the rifles. And Robin will show us exactly how to use those rifles as he picks up 2 kills, a 3rd coming in as well. It's all on Cray inside of the connector. He could get 1 here, but not even. Pulse too quick on the trigger. It's double figures for Endpoint and Orgles. This is the important one. This is where the pause will have come into full effect.
Final round then of the first half. And as you said, this is where they're going to implement the strategy they discussed during the 30-second timeout. So let's see what they have to offer. 5 AKs and an AWP for Jackie Inio. Smoke in towards window, smoke in towards short. Potentially, they're going to flash through that short smoke. I kind of like if they did that, actually, but let's see then. Robin going to be challenged early on, but of course he wins that duel.
Yeah, Adam able to find one back. Robin finished off, so still 4-4 in equilibrium to play with. Orgles this time maintain control of middle. And so they can go for that B split that we talked about earlier. Has been working for Orgles. Thomas on the back of the bomb site this time, though. The difference is he has the AUG. He's very proficient with this weapon. It's so good. Close range, long range, medium range. You can use this weapon anywhere. Incredibly versatile, and Thomas is very good with it. He picks up the 2 kills. Jaquinho and Mezzi left with a very difficult task of winning this 2 versus 3. With a minute left, that's a kill that's needed. Mezzi could have transferred, but unable to do so. And Mighty will find one back. It's Jaquinho versus 2.
Winnable situation here. Coming up from short. Makes things very awkward, though. Once again, the bomb is not in his possession. Pulse spots him out towards short. Max in towards apartments as well. They could just play off of contact here. As soon as Pulse gets contact, Max can peek, or Pulse can just kill him if he wants to. 11-4. Look at that. Lazza, Robin leading the charge there for the side of Endpoint. And is it even worth talking about the kills for the side of Orgles? As so far, no one really having too much of an impact.
Yeah, it's not many kills on Orgles to talk about. That's the problem. I mean, we have seen some signs of individual life.
Fraser,
yeah,
definitely.
Fraser especially, but even that was just 3 kills. It didn't really have too much impact. You know, if the rest of his team had more of a collective approach to the game and they were all fragging, then it could have been much easier. And here comes the pistol. It's an important one for Orgles. They'd love to win this, put themselves in a good position, moving into the second half. Cray will spot the info initially from the ramp. And the play will again slow. Endpoint have a lot of control towards the A bomb site. They've actually got Robin inside of the underpass as well. The bomb relocating from Palace back towards the ramp. And it's going to be an A hit using Robin as the late flank.
Let's see if they can put it off then. Flashbang for Mighty Max. It's all down to Cray in towards CT, playing with a defuse kit as well. So I imagine it's going to be playing for a retake scenario towards the A site. Oh, not before he finds one though. Goes for more as he's still peering out maybe how crisp that shot was. Fed him some confidence. But jungle now in the possession of Endpoint. Bomb planted as well. Let's see then. Can Orgles take the retake?
This is going to be strange. I mean, Orgles have all 5 players still alive. 4 of them coming through CT. A great start from Frizzy, opens things up. Robin able to equalize back again. Mezzi doing some damage. It's looking good for Orgles as they come back into the bomb site. All on Robin. He hits the headshot, but the defuse is coming in. Orgles will win the pistol, but Robin does more damage. Quad kill coming in. But the defuse comes in. That's the important factor, and Orgles will put another one on the board.
Just makes it look so easy, doesn't he? 11-5. Endpoint get the first pistol, Orgles take the second, so at least we're seeing an even exchange in that regard. Obviously, in the first best of 3, CEX versus London, it was pretty much London winning all the pistols in those matchups apart from the last map. Full eco coming out from Endpoint, so Adam should be able to farm up some cash here, get some kills as well. Ooh, maybe not then. Pulse, P250, kill onto Jaquinho.
Good start for Endpoint, especially having the weaker weapon area. Anything you can find as a bonus. Jaquinho falling. Plenty of time still left to play with for Endpoint. Congregating towards T-spawn again, which suggests it will be an A hit with everything they've got. Just try and use that one flash, try and get onto the bomb site, see what we can get done.
All remaining players here from Endpoint grouped up outside this A bomb site. Cray, MP9 in hand, Adam as well, the MP9. So they're split 2 for 2, 2 towards B, 2 towards the A site from Orgles. One flash to rule them all, but a salvaged AK for Robin, and they need the trade frags. That's what's very pivotal here.
Yeah, Cray spamming away. Adam sitting back outside of the connector, has that MP9 long range sprays. Mezzi able to double up. 2 big kills coming in from the FAMAS. Cray will be able to help and finishes it off with the P2000. 2 kills coming in from Endpoint. Again, we didn't expect too much to come off of it, but we'd like the AK to do a little more. 11-6. Orgles, they get the important one. They convert the pistol. And this is where things begin to get spicy. You know, both teams having a buy run, and this is a very, very important one for Orgles.
It is indeed. Obviously, if they win this one, 7-11, they get their money going as well. They can maybe draw out another eco from Endpoint and get their CT side rolling. And this is where things get interesting for Endpoint as well, sending 2 towards the B apartments, 2 towards middle. Pulse going to be there lurking towards ramp as well. So we may take that 1 versus 1 on towards Cray. Oh, Adam there, overzealous, trying to get that initial pick. Gives away the first kill. 5 versus 4, only a minute 20 left on the clock here.
That weakens their defense massively, right? And they don't have all the info either, so they can't afford to make a gamble stack just yet, as they've got to wait a little bit longer. 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock. Flashbang going to deploy another kill coming in, this time for Orgles. So back into a 4 versus 4, and Endpoint definitely telegraphing where they want to go, or they have just run in mid, but drop back up towards short. This could still work. Messi got to go for the information play, it looks like.
4 versus 4 as the smoke begins to fade towards short. And that's a big kill there in towards Whorehouse from Max. Going to be traded out though. As now the real play comes towards B. 2 versus 3. Jacquinho flashed off the angle. The bomb allowed to cross, and now Robin can have the bomb planted for him. Jacquinho as well, down to 20 HP. So if I'm Orgles here, if Cray doesn't have a massive impact in the round soon, you have to save.
Yeah, their money definitely has not been built up, and especially on the CT side, things are much more difficult to build up on the economy side of things. Everything's that little bit more expensive. You have to buy a diffuse kit. The Molotov's even more expensive. So, Crayon, he's going to find the kill. And as the kill's coming through, Endpoint will put up to 12, only 4 away from taking this map. And it was kind of discussed before this on the desk. You know, FCO and Hawko were saying that, you know, this map needs to go in favor of Orgles if they want to make it competitive. Mirage has to go their way, but Endpoint, they're looking very strong.
Yeah, and I've got to agree as well. Obviously, the overarching statement of the desk was the 2-0 for Endpoint, and you're starting to see why. As the game goes on further and further, there is a massive discrepancy between individual skill, between team play. You know, and Orgles are pracked heavily for this event as well, so it would definitely be, I won't say heartbreaking, because that's quite extreme, but definitely upsetting if they were to lose 2-0 in such fashion.
Yeah, you can kind of see, though, that they have prep. We see some, on their T side, we've seen a lot of executes. And the most frustrating thing about prepping for an event is that you, for the T side, especially with set pieces, is when you just get shut down by individuals, you can't play your own game. And so Endpoint, the play style really works for them. Just getting close, personal, hitting the headshots, disallowing these sort of strategic play from Orgles. And they had nothing to fall back on, Orgles, after their play style was taken away from them.
Just like that. Gamble stack from Orgles. Not paying back its dividends. As now they're going to be walking into the blender of 2 players in towards CT spawn. See, Thomas is notorious, or should I say infamous, for his eco-hunting abilities. But instead this time it's Robin, maybe going to try and farm up the stats and get those kills on HLTV. As he's single. Not just in the server, ladies. Yeah, it's going to go 13-6. And I was actually expecting a much closer matchup here, to be honest.
Yeah, I was, especially on Mirage. I felt like that was the playing ground where Orgles could actually start to post some numbers. But Endpoint, they've just looked really strong. I mean, the sort of only problem we were able to pitch for Endpoint in the pre-game was that perhaps playing off individual skill isn't going to be enough, but it clearly is. I mean, we have Robin and Luzza at the top of the scoreboard, fragging. You have Pulse there as well at the top of the scoreboard. You've got 3 players fragging very strong and the other 2 doing their roles perfectly. Then there's nothing you can really complain about.
Round number 20. Mid-control now from Endpoint. Player in both Palace and Ramp as well, so this might be a very fast and swift split towards the A site. Mezzi boosted up here towards short as the smoke fades.
Oh, topples Mighty Max. We'll sit back as sort of short as the grenade comes in. It does a little bit of damage, but Luzza needs to play with this. But elsewhere, Adam finds success inside of the Palace. Thomas slips through, but Jacquinho elsewhere does the damage. Thomas, only 1 kill coming in. This is not looking good for Endpoint. And it falls onto the shoulders of Robin and Thomas to make some individual plays. Robin has had a stellar performance so far in this game, but we need to get some more here. He needs to find at least 2. and get Thomas to help him out a little bit. They're in very different positions, and with the bomb not in their control, this is going to be difficult.
Especially when there's an AUG in the hands of Jacquinho. 1 versus 4 now for Thomas. 40 seconds left. May just save the AK here in this situation. Obviously, Endpoint aren't going to be getting too scared just yet. But then again, it was 13-6, Dinko, in that CEX versus London Dust 2 matchup where things really went south. But each kill here is going to be taking a rifle out of the hands of Orgles, just diminishing their economy as much as possible. And obviously what that means is eventually once Endpoint win a round, there'll be no cash left for Orgles to use. And that could be GG.
Still on here for Thomas to save the weapon. So, it will be another round on the board for Orgles. Like you said, it's not over until it's over. Still a chance here for Orgles to come back into it. Here's that play in Palace. Adam collecting the advantage. He's been a pretty good player in finding information and going for that play. I think that's the play style he's been using. Sometimes he's been caught out by it. You know, we've seen him go through the underpass and get eliminated immediately. And when you're going up against Endpoint with a man deficit, that can come back to bite you very easily.
So, faster mid-control this time from Endpoint. Robin giving smoke in the top of Con. And now then, what do? Boost into window potentially. Go up towards short, try flash into CPL. Play for picks and then see where they can go. They have Pulse there in towards T-Spawn, holding for some ramp aggression from the CTs. And Max coming in towards underpass now as well. This is all just the waiting game, and they've used their smokes to gain map control and mid-control itself. And this is why the picks are coming in the favor of Endpoint.
Adam waiting at the top of the connector. Players coming towards him. He'll not get anything. Robin too quick on the entry frag. Jacquinho will step in, doubles up with the Org. Mighty Max will find one back, but it's into a 2 versus 2. As it is another kill from Fraser, but this time the silver line is the bomb has dropped swiftly to his feet. Pulse will look to try and claim it back, but the Iron Crossfire has been established. 2 kills coming in from Fraser. It's 3 in total for the round, and a big performance that puts Orgles at 8.
So far then, all we've really seen from Endpoint is fast, aggressive mid-takes. Utilizing their individual skill, but maybe it's not quite enough here. Orgles, as we said, they have pracked heavily for this event, the most out of any of the teams attending. And their CT side, maybe that's where they're going to be shining. Oh, Adam, easy kills here for him. 1, 2. Once he runs out bullets there before he can get any more. And just going to be clean up duty here for Prey and Jacquinho towards the A side. 13-9. As 4-round discrepancy going forward. Endpoint's still in the lead here, but Orgles are bringing this one back slowly. As obviously now they've won 4 rounds in a row.
Yeah, it's much more even across the scoreboard. Orgles don't have that one player standing on the board. I think one player, if you're going to have to pick someone on Orgles, Cray has definitely started to play, or Fraser, should I say, started to play much better on the second half, and that's a really exciting thing to see. I mean, we've seen flashes of visibility in the first half, nearly clutching it, getting those 3 kills, you know. There's definitely individuals on Orgles that can do it, and perhaps opening it up to stop and sort of playing a less structural style and trying to let some of the individuals loose to try and find some of those advantages will help a little bit further, because what we see on Orgles on the first half was very structured. We're going to take mid, and we're going to, after that, we'll try and see what happens, but this time Endpoint looking to run in towards the B bomb site. Initial frag will go in favor of Fraser. The grenade comes in towards the back of the truck as well, does a little bit of damage, but Mighty Max still stays alive, waiting on his teammates to try and relocate their positions. Luzza elsewhere, hits the headshot. Mighty Max will fall to Adam. He'll jump spot, see there's no one there, and so the CT side need to readapt.
Ooh, this is where it gets major here. Ooh, down to Cray, playing in towards Sandwich. Has to get 1, 2 kills here, potentially. Gets the first, though, and the second as well, unable to be found. Robin. Good trade frag there to allow the bomb to be planted for Luzza in CT. And oh, he has the perfect angle here.
Oh, this is just fantastic from Luzza. Finds 2. Mezzi is into the 1 versus 2, running back into the site. He's coming in from the stairs. That smoke will telegraph his position. Doesn't have the info of where they are. And Robin finds the headshot. Robin is just so consistent at winning aim duels. It's incredible. Coming in as the second man, he sends the entry fragger in. He gets that refrag, winning the aim duels pretty much every time. He's such an amazing player to have in your roster. And coming in here, there's no pressure on him at all. And he's fragging like a beast, 26 and 12.
And you're going to start to be feeling rather nervous as well if you're Endpoint, because Robin's about to be your opposition on Tuesday for those MDL relegation matches. And right now, he's the one carrying you on the server. 14-9. As Orgles don't really have too much cash, considering that they won 4 rounds in a row. That really goes to show how close the rounds were. 2 versus 1s, 1 versus 1s. Oof, Max, though, gives away the advantage early on. Orgles, if they get to 10 rounds, they're going to reset Endpoint as well. So this could be the comeback.
Definitely possible here. Orgles need to just put 2 and 2 together here, win this round. Pick up the scraps. Well, there is still weakness there because Cray obviously has the CZ. There's an MP9 on play on Adam, and here comes the final push. It's Endpoint storming in towards the A-bomb site. Cray is out of the smoke, has the help from Adam. Again, their weapons aren't that great, so Jacquinho, he's got to get something done here as he moves into the site. The bomb being planted. Cray spamming away, but Robin hits the headshot. It's looking great for Endpoint. They have control of the site. The flashbang comes in. It's great as well as Jacquinho's finished off. Loza can re-peek. Spots the info. There's another player there, but they have the advantage. No need to take the fights. Mezzi will still win the duel against Thomas as they come back in. Pulse spraying away. It's Loza. Adam comes in with the MP9, and somehow Orgles are doing this. It's a long flight from Robin. He taps. He does the damage. He peeks through. And he gets the double kill. It's map point for Endpoint, and Robin steps up with a triple.
Thank God for Robin if you're an Endpoint fan, because my goodness, what was Thomas doing there in that afterplant?
It was getting very messy towards the end of that, right?
But there's no reason for him to peek jungle.
Exactly,
that's the only thing that was so surprising. But 15-9 here. Thomas may be feeling like he's missing out on the HOTV rating.
I mean, at this point, when you're feeling so comfortable and confident in your team, you do start to make those types of plays, and that can actually come back to bite Endpoint if they get a little bit overconfident or overzealous and make some of these plays. If Orgles can pick up on those, perhaps not on this map because it seems to be nearing the end, but perhaps in the next map coming up after this, they can try and exploit some of that.
Yeah, they definitely can. Obviously, the next map being the map pick from Orgles. What surprised you?
Was this not the map pick? This was the map pick of Orgles. I'm pretty sure
Endpoint, apologies, yeah.
They picked Overpass, and I feel that's going to be a pretty comfortable playground for Endpoint, which is why the sort of storyline was to be a close game. Orgles need to pick this one up, but not looking too great for them. But that's a good start into round number 25, and they've got a Nova in play.
It may be the last round at play. Jacquinho here with the shotgun, though.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Ooh, gets spotted out towards Calm. This is the first pump, second as well. Doesn't quite connect it, and Pulse smells blood towards short. Mezzi, scouting player towards Kitchen. Gets the frag onto Thomas. Max is here to back up his teammate as well. Fraser does go down towards short on the smoke towards the center of the bomb site. Means the bomb will be planted for short as well. So Laza, impactful here.
Pulse just playing it safe, takes the kill to Adam, doubles up as well, and Cray, the last player alive, has to win a 1 versus 3. Otherwise, Endpoint are the victors on Mirage, and indeed it happens. It's a triple from Pulse. He'll close it out in a pretty nice fashion. What a performance from Endpoint. I mean, that's exactly what we expected.
What a performance from Robin.
Yeah,
I would say it that way. Yeah, 30 kills there from him. Obviously, say standing. He played for this roster for many, many months, and coming into this one, he definitely delivered. You can see just easy work for him. Another day in the office, carrying UK teams at UK lands. But here we are, 1-0 for Endpoint. The prophecy of the 2-0 nearly coming to fruition here as a 16-9 on the map pick from Orgles as we head over to Overpass on that next map.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. I feel like Orgles coming into this Overpass is not going to be an easy feat. And that wasn't an amazing performance on Mirage. There was signs of life. I feel like on that T side, it's going to be very frustrating. They weren't able to play their own game. They obviously prepped. They had some really nice strategies and mid ticks, but being disallowed to do your own play style is going to be tough and frustrating. So they've got to mentally reset moving into this next map, and hopefully they can bring a different play style or a different level of play.
Yeah, scary thing though as well. 69, unable to get double digits, and that includes a pistol round victory as well for Orgles. So scary signs going forward for that team. Obviously, Endpoint looking like a well-oiled machine, but when do they not? The question is, what is the limit for this roster? Where can they go in terms of making an impact in Europe and not just winning these UK lands time and time again?